Okay, I'm going to try to show this more clearly than we were able to do in class. I am on VAXMUSH. I am on the server. I am in my home directory. In here, I have a Python directory. In there, I have the CCC directory. Now I am down the tree a little bit from where I started. Now, I think I made a mistake in class in deciding which way I had set up the files. I think if I had made the choice so it should be problem level first, then year, and I think in class I did year, then problem level. This is one of the problems with uh, choosing a naming convention is you got to be consistent, and I struggle with consistency. But here we are. If I cat, you can see a relatively basic solution to that tournament selection problem. 6 lines. I take them all into here results. I go through and check to see if each one, how many times the letter W shows up in my results. Every time the W shows up, I make wins go up by 1. And if wins exist on those things, I add them down there. I can test this by running it interactively, which is what we were trying to show in class. Now, there's no prompt here because I don't have anything in my input, but I can do W, L, W, L, L, L. So somebody with 2 wins should, I believe, be in group 3 is the way the answer works. W, 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 so that should be in group 1. And if I do L, 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 it should be -1. And if I do W, L, 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 we're in group 3. Okay, so oh, I made a mistake. Well, should I fix it? Let's hold on a second. My mistake right there is that I think I need all of those to be less than or equal to, not simply less than. Whoops. So, let's talk about how to check these. I'm doing level 1 on 2016. All of the files that we would need to check those exist on the server. They exist in this giant path that we talked about earlier. Level 1, year 2016, J1. Whoops. There's all the input and output files that we need. So, there's a way that we can try to do this if we knew all the files correctly. So that's Python 3, and I would have to test my file, and I would have to say all these things. Just, oh my gosh. All of those places. And then I could say j1.1.in, and I'm using this less than arrow to redirect this text file. Do this as if somebody's going to sit there and just type all the letters. There we go. That's our input. That's my output. There we go. But that's kind of tedious and really complicated. And if there are, as we saw up there, 5, 6, sometimes 8 or 10, it takes a lot of time to go through and check them. So I have a little utility written instead, and it's called check. Check is written so that the file name needs to be in level with a lowercase j, then year, like that, .py. And if you run check, it's going to look for these files, and it's not going to look for them down server/ccc/Canadian/level1. It's not going to look down this chain. It's looking for them here in a nice local directory called .check. If you write check by itself, it'll give you this little help file, and it'll tell you what you need to do. It says your Python file must be named in this format, level underscore 20 year, where J is lowercase, J1 to J5, and year is the 2-digit year from 15 to 24. To run the check tool, you first must create a symlink. This is what we were talking about in class. Now, this is the syntax, and you'll notice that here, in this version that copy and paste, I'm still saying YY and JD. But if I want to try this for real, I have to choose a number. So I'm going to do LNSS, and I can cut and paste these if I didn't want to tab complete it out. Level 1, 2016 / J1. And then we're going to say that actually should go to right where we are. That's the dot. That's our local directory. Whoops. And the check needs to be on the other side of the slash. So in our current directory, make a new subfolder called check. What's the contents of the check? Whatever's in this thing. Now, if I do check, it runs all of my tests against the outputs and sees if they match. And it's checking exact matches. So if I look at my code again, the only thing I'm supposed to print as output is a 1, 2, 3, or -1. These are what I'm supposed to have in output. Except I've got this print statement up here where I was just checking to make sure that wins worked. So I'm going to delete that. Now I can run check again. So that one matches, and that one matches, and that one matches, but that one doesn't match. It's supposed to be 3, and I say 2. This one is supposed to be 2, and I say it's 1. This one's supposed to be 2, and I say it's 1. And this one is -1. So I have things that work and some things that don't work. Fortunately, I was paying attention earlier, and I saw that my error was here, that this needs to be inclusive because I want to do 1 or 2 matches. This needs to be inclusive. It needs to be 3 or 4 matches. Now that I've made that change, I can run check again. Ah, there we go. Now all of my cases match. That means I've now written this one and checked it. Great. Now I can write the next one. I can do touch J1 2017.py, and I can remove the check folder. Because when I write my code for 2017, let me be real cute here right now, and let me copy the solution I've already written for So there we go. This is my solution for the J1 2017s. But I need to check this against these, a different collection of test files. So I would make the same link, but instead of going to the 2016 folder, I'll go to the 2017 folder. But I still put it on check. The folder is still called check, which means when I run the program check for J1 2017, it's now checking against the correct input files for that year and that level of problem. So, to go over this again, let's try to do this as an entire program all the way out. It means I need to get one of these. Media, CS textbooks, CC. I just did 15 and 16, and which one was this? This was 17, so that means I guess it's trying to be 18. So let's open up 18. So now we have to do the telemarketer problem. Let's input is going to be 4 lines, 1 digit each. Output is going to be either ignore or answer. And what's the rule? Here's our rules. All right, that's not part of my code. I'm just putting it there so I can see it while I'm writing. How do I collect my things? So let's call this phone number, and it's going to be the same thing that you did before. We're going to say it's the integers of these inputs for x in range. There's 4 digits, so that's range 3. Just to be sure, let me print phone number and make sure that works. Then what am I going to do? I'm going to say if phone number, the first digits is an 8 or a 9. So phone number 0 in 8 or 9. And phone number -1 for the last digit is similarly also an 8 or 9. And, because it looks like it says the last 4 digits have 3 properties, so all 3 of these have to be true. And then the second and third digits are the same, so that's phone number 1 equals, this is a test, phone number 2. 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay. If all those things are true, then that's a telemarketer. So we say print, I think, ignore. And else, we're apparently allowed to answer. So, does that work? Is it actual, like, Python code that executes? What am I supposed to put in? Numbers 4, 5, 6. That's not enough. Oh, it's got to be in range 4. It's 4 items, not 3 items. Int input for I think that's unnecessary. So let's try that again. 4, 5, 6, 7. Answer. Let's try that again. 9, 9, 9, 9. 8, 3, 3, 9. There we go. So it seems like the rules are being followed. Let's check for all of them. So this is 2018. My check is currently, because I've checked it right here, pointing at 2017. So I got to remove that check. You'll see it's gone. It's just a little symlink. It's just an alias. And so I'm going to reach back and grab that same long link I made before, and I'm just going to change that 7 to an 8. Now when I check it, look, it points to 2018. So now I can do check J1 2018. Oh. And as always, since I'm supposed to have the exact same output as the sample file, this printing of the phone number is really messing me up. So let's get rid of that and try that again. There we go. Now that I've taken that out, you can see I ran this file. It told me I should answer, and the thing said answer. So all my matches work. Now I'm done with 2018. This is the process I would like you to go through. The reason why we're working in here is to lower and minimize transition times between these two problems.